We're very pleased to introduce our first speaker, our first and only speaker, Smarty. So Smarty's going to do a great presentation and some demonstrations. So you're going to need your phone. So get your phones out.
In the presentation, you guys are all going to be homeowners and are going to be talking to this new technology.
You have to speak into the mic.
Convince you to sell your house.
You have to talk.
So what do you say? So thanks for the introduction, Don. So I think I know many of you in the room, but some of the new folks, but many of you don't know the origin of Smarty. So it was Mrs. Longacre's second grade class where I think I was being a smart aleck in the back of the class, and she called me Smarty Pants. So since second grade, I've been a Smarty, and in my career, it's really helped me. I spent 13 years at IBM. I think there was about 40,000 Johns around the world, but there was only one Smarty. So it's helped me in my career. So a little bit about myself. First and foremost, I've been a real estate technologist my entire life. I have 32 years in the marketplace in helping big corporations, mostly on the commercial side, find great deals, negotiate those deals, manage the contracts, the legal side of signing the contract, managing the construction phases and rehab from either new construction or major renovations, and then the ongoing operations of the property, managing tenant relationships and so forth. That's my passion on the technology side. I'm also a digital marketer, and my last 11 years at IBM, I was I'm sure most of you know of the Watson side of IBM, which is all around AI. It's artificial intelligence, it's human interaction. You bring in man and machine together to make a better world together. And I was in charge of the Watson, what was called the Watson IoT, which was the Internet of Things around buildings. So my passion, again, bled through with IBM, and how do we make smarter buildings with technology and so forth. And then lastly, and I'm also an avid sailor. I love sailing on my personal side. And I'm also an investor. I left the corporate world last July and started ProEdge Investors. And for the last 12 months, I've been wholesaling. And I'll get a little bit about some of the strategies I've had and how I came up with this technology. And I also got my realtor license in the spring. So I'm in your shoes, struggling to find good deals and so forth, because we all know as investors, the key to success as investors is finding quality deals, right? And hopefully ahead of your competition, right? So that's a challenge of investors. And I think I've tried just about every marketing secret out there as a new investor coming into the market last year. And I wanted to kind of poll my audience to see what you guys are doing. How many folks in the room are doing marketing at all to find motivated sellers? Anybody marketing? How do you find your deals? Do we have, I know, like Bonnie, you didn't raise your hand, but direct mail is something that a lot of investors do. I know you and Frank do direct mail, right? Used to, right? I've tried direct mail. I've tried bandit signs, putting bandit signs out around the Philadelphia area. I've tried door hangers. I tried text messaging, email. I built a website to attract motivated sellers to my site. And all those methods have brought me great deals in the last 12 months. But what I found was, back in the spring, I sat back and said, there's got to be a better way. How do I, get ahead of the curve and getting ahead of the competition with the homeowner, be able to vet out and qualify the deal? Because what I found myself doing in all my marketing was I was a chicken with my head cut off running around the Philadelphia area. I even had an outbound call center in Asia that was calling motivated sellers. We were calling 200 motivated sellers every day, not every month. So every morning I'd wake up and I'd have 7 sellers to talk to about their deal. So I'd drive up to Reading, and then I'd go down to Center City. And as I'm going to meet those homeowners and doing the numbers, a lot of them weren't deals. They wanted full retail, and I didn't have a realtor license. Or the house, I was sharing with Don one, it was a parade in front. I thought there was a party next door, and it was like 16 investors that were the homeowner invited all of us to do a deal. Right? And it was that moment where I said, there's got to be a better way. I want to get ahead of the curve. And that's where this technology came about. So what you're going to hear tonight is a new technology that we put out in the marketplace specifically for investors called chatbots. Now, chatbots isn't a unique name for investors. Chatbots has been around for about 4 or 5 years. And let me just ask the audience, how many of you heard the word chatbot before? We have a few people, some that not. I'm sure just about everybody in the room has experienced a chatbot in your daily life. Has anyone got a text message from your dentist confirming your appointment next week, right? And then the interaction to confirm yes or no and reschedule your dentist appointment, right? That's a chatbot. That's an automation of text messaging where the dentist isn't actually sending a text message out with you. The automation is doing all the communication between you, the patient, and the dentist. If you go to AT&T's website or Verizon, I was there this morning. My daughter's going to London on Wednesday. So I was on AT&T logging into my account, and a chatbot got on the web screen and started talking to me. Hi, this is Sally, and Smarty, what can I do for you? And I was asking her interactive questions about I need to add international service to my daughter's plan, and it did a majority of the communication before a live human jumped on and we completed the transaction. So the world we're living in across all industries, I know my dog groomer's now using a chatbot, to do my dog grooming. Chatbots are an automated way to communicate in the world today. And us as humans, there's statistics that show 80% of humans around the world prefer going through messaging as opposed to picking up the phone anymore. I know I don't want to have phone calls from my dentist or doctor or dog groomer confirming an appointment and bugging me during the day. It's easier for me to see a text message, quickly reply. If I need to schedule something, I do it on a text message and move on in my day. So it's becoming part of our daily life. Now, what the chatbot does for investors is, I'll let this little video play, is it works so that the investor, or during my marketing effort, when I reach a motivated seller, and I'll talk about different ways to reach them, the chatbot's job is to ask conversational questions. So we're right up front with the motivated seller. It's that, hey, I'm not a robot. I'm not a human. It introduces itself as a robot in support of me, Smarty, as an investor. So it starts having that dialogue with the homeowner to warm up and build some rapport with the homeowner about what their needs are and so forth. The chatbot's role is to get me the seller's address, contact information, motivation, ask the homeowner what the overall condition of the property is so I can get a read, and basically ask the same questions I would ask if I was in front of the homeowner. So now I don't have to drive across town to talk to the homeowner or get on the phone. My chatbot's doing that work for me and qualifying the deals, and then only sending to me the deal when it makes sense based on my criteria. So I set up the marketing where I want to talk to that homeowner. And then basically the end of the project, or the end when it finds a deal, the chatbot's going to deliver right to your phone or email the deal with all the communication and questions the homeowner asked or answered. So you see all the details. How much are they asking for the property? What's the condition and so forth? All in a nice integrated way in the model. Now the chatbots are designed to work around the clock when the seller wants to engage. The other thing that I learned in the last 12 months is my customer, the motivated seller, distressed property owner. And if you think of those people that we all talk to, they're going through some very stressful parts of their life. They may be losing that house to a foreclosure, right? They're in a pre-foreclosure situation. They may have lost a loved one and they have this property they no longer need or want. Or maybe it was a landlord that spent the day in eviction court and they're sick and tired of this property and they want to get off their hands. In any case, they're stressful people. And chances are they're not sleeping well at night. So if they're in a stressful part of their life, you're not always going to be there when they want to talk to you when you're out marketing to them. That's where the chatbot steps in. On websites, while you're sleeping, the chatbot said to me the other day, Smarty, at 3 a.m., while you were sleeping, a homeowner was on a website, did a Google search. I need to sell my house fast. Now, a lot of investors, how many people have a website for their business? A couple of you, right? We all spend a lot of money building a website, and we build an opt-in form. If you want to sell a quick cash offer, fill in a request. And some of us spend a lot of money on SEO, which is search engine optimization, which how do we rank up on page 1 of Google? Because, statistics show if you're not on page 1, chances are your website's never going to be found on the internet, right? So you do all this great work to get to the website, but now that homeowner at 3 a.m. is cruising around and clicking on a bunch of websites, checking us all out. right? The nice job of the chatbot is as soon as they hit our website, it calls them by name. Hi, Mary. Good evening, or you're up very late. How can I help you? And it starts talking to Mary in the middle of the night while I'm sound asleep. So it has that personal relationship with the homeowner long before I even start talking to that homeowner. That's the role of the chatbot. I also found as an investor, it works across all different methods. Text and email. As a wholesaler, Alexa, like what we do as wholesalers, we may go out and acquire a list, right? I may go to the courthouse and get, tax delinquencies, or I may go buy a pre-foreclosure list from a bank, right? Or I may go get some motivated seller's list from some source out there. As an investor, I would go out and skip trace them. I'd send them up and pay for skip trace to get their email and phone number. And then I do some kind of email or text campaign to send emails out to these homeowners trying to engage them. What we do now is we introduce the chatbot in those areas, as well as my VA that's making outbound calls. When the VA is talking to them, they send a text to the homeowner right then and there with say, let me get some information from you. And the chatbot takes over collecting all the pre-qualification questions along the way. So now they're engaged with us every step of the way and learning about us. That's the role that it plays. So while you're sleeping, while you're in a meeting, while you're at your kid's baseball game or soccer game or football game, you may have sent an email blast out, but now the chatbot or the motivated seller is looking at your email at this point in time. You're busy. You want that friend of yours, the chatbot there, talking to the motivated seller, because if they don't talk to you then, they're going to go to the next customer or next process. Chatbots are designed to run everywhere. I'm going to talk about Facebook in a little while in a couple slides, but it also works in the physical world. So as investors, a lot of people use direct mail. You guys have been using direct mail for a while, right? Used to, or Bonnie said used to. As investors, think of the poor homeowner. Every investor in the world is using direct mail, the same yellow letters, and they try to differentiate with crinkle on them or doing cards, and realtors are sending letters. Now the motivated seller in the middle of the night's waking up and they're saying, oh my God, I got to get out of this situation. And they look on their desk and there's 16 different letters on their desk they put in a pile from different investors. How do you make sure that you're the one that gets the call? You introduce what we call QR codes and an offer right on that letter. What we found in our testing is we're getting like a 60 to 70% hit on a piece of mail. And a lot of times when we talk to that homeowner, they haven't even called the other 16, 20 letters that are on their desk because they saw that letter. And a lot of times it's an elderly woman or man, and he thought the letter was cute. And we gave them a nice ebook or a free guide about selling their house, and it's talking to them right there at the desk in the middle of the night or whenever they're watching that letter or reading that letter. Now that's changing the game of marketing on direct side. I have a little car here. I see investors that put magnets, we buy houses. Oop, went too far there. We buy houses, right on the side of a car, right? Putting them there on bandit signs. How many times have you gone anywhere, like especially in big cities like Philadelphia, and you're on a corner and there's a telephone pole and there's 3 We Buy Houses signs on that pole? How do you guarantee that you're the only person they talk to on that call? What does every human do and every person when they see those kind of signs or a car sign? They take their phone out and take a picture to get the phone numbers. Now you put a QR code on that bandit sign, and the homeowner, and you're going to see this in a minute, I'm going to have you guys open your phone. As soon as you point your phone at the sign, it immediately calls you by name and starts talking to you, right? You're already having a communication with that person long before they even went home. You think they're going to call the other 2 if they're already engaged with me, right? Through the chatbot. So this is where this really comes into play, is engaging the motivated seller at the time they want to be engaged with an interactive experience to qualify the leads, negotiate the deal, and start weeding out the good deals from the bad deals and send the ones I need to talk to in the morning. And what we do is we set it and forget it. So as we do our marketing, let the chatbot do a lot of the legwork for us. And then what happens is the deals come to our plate when we need to see the motivated seller. And we see it right on our phone. At any time I can see what's going on. And this morning, or just as I was getting ready tonight, I'm seeing 2 homeowners talking to my bot right now. and I can see where they are in the process. And if they have a question, they can reach out and talk to me. The bot will say, would you like to talk to my human? Right? And they can reach out and talk to me, or I could jump in on the conversation right then and there if they have a question. But this is a snapshot of just my point in time with ProEdge Investors. You know, in an 8-week period, you'll see that we had 96 homeowners engaged in our marketing through the chat bot in only an 8-week period. This little jump here was myself and my team. We went through and we unsubscribed a bunch of homeowners that we felt weren't even deals, or properties that we didn't even want to look at in bad neighborhoods or other areas that we just took off our list. So we purged some of the list in that area. But basically, you're seeing a constant increase in engagement through the chatbot. Let it do all the marketing for me. Now, the beautiful thing of all this is when we get into social media, all the marketing methods I talked about earlier are very costly. I don't know how many letters did you used to send out? 100 a week, and an average postage of 65, 70 cents, plus the cost. So you're looking at what, $80 a week, right? Sending these lists out. And I met one investor at our investor group down in Philly. They're doing $30,000 of direct mail every month, right? Sending these letters out. When you switch it, you want to be where the motivated sellers are, and that's on social media. Mark Zuckerberg, who's the CEO of Facebook, was in his, it's called the F8 Summit, which is his big user conference. I watched this video, and on the video, a couple interesting facts came in on social media. For the first time, messaging, right, Facebook Messenger, has surpassed Facebook in usage around the globe. And also, for the first time in history, Messenger is 3 times more used than standard text messaging in the universe. Just in the US alone, there are 60 billion messages being passed on Messenger between 2 individuals versus only 20 billion messages on SMS or text. So the world is starting to adopt this new messaging platform as a way to communicate, and you're going to see that in a few minutes. What we do have is when we bring in social media into the picture, we're basically going where the homeowner is. And we're finding a lot of the demographics, especially if I do a big baby boomer campaign in marketing, where I'm gonna promote and do ads that are targeted to baby boomers that are looking potentially to downsize. That's been a good capture for us, finding those downsizers, and they have a dated home, they want to move out. Maybe they're struggling to get out of that property because they're locked up. We do an ad that's very targeted to those users. I don't know if you know this, but within Facebook tracks about 2,000 data points about each one of us that are on Facebook. So on Facebook, when we do advertising, we can get very refined to who sees our ad. So I have, for example, I do what's called a digital bandit sign, where I'll take Doylestown and I'll say, give me a 15-mile radius of Doylestown, and I want everybody within this 15-mile radius to see our ad. So instead of putting a physical bandit sign on a telephone pole or on a street corner that cost me several $1,000s to deploy those bandit signs, I do a simple $10 Facebook ad, and I'm going to guarantee every motivated seller in that 15-mile radius sees my ad. Because Facebook allows me to do what's called target marketing. So I can do demographics like show me all homeowners that are spending time at Home Depot or Lowe's, or they're on rehab or renovation, they're doing renovation inquiries on Google. Show me homeowners that are spending time on Zillow and Realty.com. And those are folks that are, chances are, they're looking to do something with their house. Now, it may just be a renovation with somebody that's staying, and they'll see the sign, but chances are there's a big majority of those people are in that moving of a property mode of their lifestyle. And that's the ones that we want to show the ad to. Now, advertising on social media has been around for many years. Realtors have used it for many, many years, doing social media to try to get buyers and sellers to get listings and buyers and so forth. As investors and realtors, Facebook, if you ever see an ad, will have a button here. In this case, it says learn more. This is one of my ads. We're looking to buy homes in your neighborhood. We can provide fair offer, close on a time, and handle all closing costs. Here's a few benefits working with us. Then there's a whole list of benefits that's behind this image when they hit learn more, and they learn about, who we are. Now, in the past, and what 99% of advertisers do in the investment world is that learn more button will typically go to a landing page or a website. So again, we all have websites as investors. We do an ad, and then I push a button, and it takes me to a website. Now the website's by itself and lonely. They're going to peruse the website, and you hope they fill something out, but that's a hope and a prayer. What we do now is we can tie the chatbot's experience right to things like a social media ad or a post. So now that same homeowner that's on their phone, they're looking at their kid's Facebook page ads, all of a sudden says they want to move in from their house, and they're seeing the ads, and they say, oh my God, I could sell my house for, here's an all-cash offer, or I'm going to give you some incentive. When they push that button, the chatbot will open up and start interacting with them real time. It calls them by name and says, hi, Mary, what can I do for you? We're ProEdge investors. Tell me about your what are you trying to do? And we'll have that conversation to do the deal. So at this point, what I'd like you to do, instead of opening the chatbot, I want you to experience the chatbot yourself. So if you take out your phone, and if you have an iPhone, if you have an iPhone 7 or above, it has a built-in QR reader in the camera. So all you have to do is don't take a picture, but just point your camera, and you may have to zoom in a little bit. I tested it from where Rich is in the back of the room, and Tim, if you zoom in, with your phone, what should happen is you should see the chatbot, and again, you also have to have a Facebook account or Messenger on your phone. So if you don't, right? What will happen is the chatbot will open up at the top and ask you to, start welcoming you. You have to click, and it'll open up the Messenger app. Did anybody see that come up? On Android, you have to have a QR reader. So you'll have to have Messenger for this to work. Don, do you want to put it up so I can show my screen? Do the reflector. So I'll just show everybody what happens. And by the way, there's 1.2 billion Messenger users in the world, right? So I think I found a few that aren't Messenger yet. So Messenger, did it come up? What should happen is if you do the reflector, let me sync here, Don. Code?
9, we see it there.
Oh, there is. I'm using an app that will allow you can see my screen now.
On Android, if you take a photo of it.
It took a while, but it did come up.
There we go. So I knew the Android had a capability. It was a new capability.
It says, hi, Beth, I'm looking for some investment properties.
Yeah. So watch what will happen on my phone. If I take this phone and I zoom in on that, okay, see what happened on the very top on my computer, open in Messenger? So now I click open on Messenger, and the Messenger app pops up with my information of my company. So this would be your information of your company, your logo, information about you. So it says, ProEdge Investor Bot typically replies about real estate. Hi, I'm a bot. I'm here to help you get information to buy or sell your property, right? And then you hit the Get Started button. So what's going to happen is the bot's now going to start talking to me. So it starts going in, and where's Michael? I just saw Michael starting to communicate with me, right? Because I'm also playing the investor on my phone. So not only am I seeing, me interacting as this is Facebook Messenger. Now you also see we also do some fun with the homeowner. Our homeowners love this, especially the grandmothers and so forth, right? It's not just a boring text message. So in this, it basically says, Smarty buys houses quickly and easily. No need for repair, hassles, headaches, realty fees. Most importantly, he pays cash. So we have a little gift there, with Donald there with a wad of cash. And then down in here, I'm looking for investment properties in your area. Can I ask you a few questions? Now I say, sure, let's go. And now it's going to start the qualification questions that I pre-programmed into the chatbot to be able to ask them information about their property. So the first thing is, what's the address? So I want to get the homeowner's address. I just clicked on an ad. So now I go in and I type in an address. So let me go in and type in like I'll do one in North Wales. And you'll notice it's only asking for the address, not the city, state, zip code. We don't need to bother the homeowner. Just tell me your street address. And then the next thing we want to know is it's going to say, give me your postal code. So we don't want to burden the homeowner, have to fill in all this information. The bot gets smarter and smarter. So I know North Wales is 19454. So I put in that zip code. And now the bot is doing some research behind the scenes. The chatbot's job is to go online, run some comps on that property. Yeah. So what it's doing behind the scenes, it is running some comps now for that neighborhood, and it's starting to look at what the ARV should be for that property based on some basic information it can find. So as we go down this journey, I'm going to ask the homeowner, what are they asking for the property? So if the homeowner says, I want 100,000, but the ARV is only 80,000, it says, Smarty, don't even bother. Don't go see them. May ask them to read, or what the bot will do is say, are you sure you want 100? Here's the estimate we found, and I bring them right to this estimate from Zillow. It'll say, here's what the online systems even say about your house. Are you really sure you want 100? And I give them the opportunity to revise the number or say, I'm sticking with 100. They're the ones that I don't even bother to go see. But if they ask for 100 and my estimates come back at 190, and let's see what happens here. So I'm going to just confirm that that's the address, and you see it found North Wales, PA, and USA. So the chatbot did its job. Now what it's going to start doing is start looking at, I do some happy dance, loves to buy in that neighborhood, right? And now it's going to start asking things about my motivation. What's the condition of the house, and so forth. So as it starts doing its work, the chatbot's going to literally confirm, and this is the one I like the best, is it also confirms my email and my phone number. Facebook does a beautiful job for me in guaranteeing it makes it a one-click opt-in for the homeowner to get their email and phone number as they're interacting with me. You notice I didn't have to type in my phone number, right? So I just say, here's my phone number, and then it's going to go in and say, what's your phone, or no, what's your email, then what's your phone number? The homeowner doesn't have to bother typing anything because Facebook knows it. So now I go in and say, yep, that's my phone number. Now I have two critical pieces of information to talk to that homeowner, right? Now this system now can integrate to your CRM system. So I use RealFlow. I know, Bonnie, you guys use RealFlow. So immediately, that's now in RealFlow as an active lead, and then I have an email drip campaign that I'll start sending some emails to the homeowner with some useful guides and so forth. So they're talking to me every step of the way in the model. Now it's saying, okay, how fast do you want to sell? So I'll say sometime soon. Let the chatbot go through. Good news. And if it's a win-win, we're going to do a deal, right? We want to make a win-win situation for the homeowner. What's the condition? It's in good condition. Everybody says it's in good condition. All right? But they're going to say it needs a little love. So they're going to do a little love. 83. That's right. So the chatbot's doing all the work in getting this data. And by the way, as an investor, you get to see what's happening right on your phone, all that communication between the homeowner and the chatbot. And you can jump in at any time. You can watch it play, or just go to bed or go to your kid's soccer game. And when you wake up, the chat's going to send you the deal when it's ready. And then if you know what the rough idea is, I'll say I have a rough idea what I want. And the chatbot will say, all right, you don't pay realty fees. We're going to pay all cash. Give me a round number. So I'll go in and say they want $110,000. And the chatbot's going to start the calculations. So it already knows it's done the comps, it ran the estimates. It's going to present back to me as an investor what the deal analysis looks like. It's going to give me the ARV, what the homeowner asked for. And what I do is I do conditional logic in the chatbot. So if it's a deal or not, the chatbot decides if it's a deal or not based on the logic I put in. So if it's meeting my 70% rule without even looking at rehab yet, if it's in that 70% sweet spot as a wholesaler, I'm going to go see that homeowner. And we're going to negotiate based on rehab after I do an inspection. But that's the starting point of the conversation. If it's way too tight, it's only 90% of ARV and so forth. I'm not going to go see them.
When you hold the phone horizontally, it
Oh, there we go.
changes,
Sorry.
right? So keep it vertical.
And then here, if they want to add a note, they could add a note. Now, what's going to happen now is now you'll see it from my perspective. It says, thanks, Smarty. Well, Smarty will talk to you soon, right? It's done the analysis. But in a minute here, you're going to see, because I'm the investor, it's going to show me the email or the text message that I'm going to get as the investor based on them talking to this homeowner, because I'm playing both sides. So what you see here is, I start from here. It says, hey, Smarty, you got a hot lead. Check it out. This homeowner with this email and phone number at this location said they want to sell sometime soon. They believe the property is overall good condition and needs some serious love. When asked if they know what they want $110,000. The system's coming up with an estimate of 197 with a low and a high and a 30-day change. And the chatbot did all the online research. Now today the chatbot's talking to Zillow to get some numbers. I'm in conversation with the development team of Bright to get, and more so in Bright, RPR, to start getting more refined estimates. So when I run the comps in the AR, I'm not going to rely on a Zestimate. I'm going to get more detail. But at least having a Zillow estimate with a high and a low gets me in that ballpark to say, are they asking way much more than they ask? Where are they in that test? Is they even worth talking to as an investor? That first part of the test is done by the chatbot. And then, of course, we're going to go on site to look at the property details and so forth. So what do you guys think?
I want it.
So you can close that screen there, Don.
So I have a question. Tom, raise your hand, Tom. Is this something that you can help the less than technically proficient folks with if they want you to help them set this all up?
Absolutely.
Okay, just wanted to know.
For basically any customer who's looking for opportunities and leads.
Okay,
No matter if it's real estate or investment.
right, well.
Yeah,
this is-
I built a chatbot for my wife's clothing business.
Yeah.
I built it for my mom's antique business, right? You could apply this technology for where my contractors at, my cabinet guys, chatbots for cabinets interacting to your customers. This is a fundamental technology in the world that's changing the world we live in. And those that do chatbots are going to win out over those that don't, as you see, because we all have websites. And the website that can talk to the customer at the point in time they want a question is going to win out over a naked website that I have to search the information myself. So, this is something that obviously, can apply everywhere. So what I wanted to show here is what we've done, or before I do it, is just the marketing costs. Doing social media marketing has absolutely changed the game for us in our marketing budget. My wife loves this new approach. I used to spend, just on a single bandit sign deployment in Montgomery County, I would drop $1,500 putting bandit signs out. I would do a direct mail campaign doing 500 letters and drop, $400 or $500 a week, right? Easy. My door hangers, right? High costs in marketing as an investor. Here's an example of an ad we ran down in New Jersey recently. This was in July, and this is for my flippers. So this happened to be a flip. And at the end of the renovation, what do you try to do as an investor? You try to sell that property right at the end of the project. So we issued an ad campaign for an open house for our flip, and we issued a $10 budget to run that open house campaign on Facebook. The open house was from 1 to 4 on Sunday. We issued the ad on 4 o'clock on Friday night. The chatbot did all the work. My wife and I think, were down in Washington, that night we had a wedding on that Saturday. That chatbot found me 34 buyers for my open house, and we created a feeding frenzy at our open house. Homeowners, when they talked to the bot offered up the pictures of the property, the address, the details of the open house, communicated all the questions the buyer may think about the property. And we actually had a bidding war on this property. This property was listed at $390, and we sold it for $420, right, through these buyers. The beautiful thing was those 34 buyers cost me $1.25 per lead. So very, very cheap marketing in finding those buyers. We do the same for our landlords that are looking for tenants. We issue ads to find those tenants for our rental properties. Let the chatbot do all the pre-qualifications. The other fun part of the online systems, has anybody been on Marketplace yet? So Facebook Marketplace? Yeah. You guys know, most people, do you know what it is? So if you're not familiar with it, Facebook released this Marketplace a couple years ago. It is now surpassing many of the online major sites like Zillow and Realty.com, where buyers, sellers, and renters go to do real estate transactions. 60 billion messages going across this site a day. All this is being run on the Messenger platform. So we do ads now. We find renters on this site. We're doing a lot of, my group is doing lease options. So we find a property, we find an owner through my chatbot. Instead of doing a wholesale deal, they don't want to put it, they don't want to list the property. Maybe it was on the market, it was an expired listing. And now we're going to offer a lease option agreement where we can give them full asking price for their property and then put a family in there to do a lease to own situation. We release the chatbot on the marketplace. So we'll list that property. And what this has done for us is systematically changed the amount of time we have to spend qualifying tenants. Because typically on the marketplace, if you list an apartment for rent, you're going to get 60 to 100 renters calling you asking about that property. Now you have the chatbot take over. So the chatbot does all the renter pre-qualifications to the homeowner or the renter, and then only gives you the 6 or 8 renters that you should be talking to rent your property. So quality of life of an investor goes up because the chatbot's doing the dirty work that I used to have to do myself as an investor. Now you start interacting with the chatbot here to do a lot of that qualification work. So what we decided to do at ProEdge was, my wife, because I'm a technologist, I've always been in software my whole career, and I've been investing. My chatbot's doing very well for my own business doing investing, and it's helping me out. So what I've decided to do is package this up as a single package for investors, and I launched it about 5 weeks ago across North America. To show you how it's performing, on the very first hour that I put it on the website, I had an investor in Tampa, Florida, bring this package into their business. That was only 5 weeks ago. This investor has close to 60 homeowners interacting to the chatbot. He's already found 4 deals and 2 renters for his portfolio in the first 5 weeks using the chatbot. What I envision, though, is by bringing it across the country, we're creating an environment in a very isolated way. We have a private Facebook group where all the chatbot team is in the Facebook group. We're all starting to co-work on deals. This same investor called me, or not called me, but on the Facebook group, had a post about 2 weeks ago that said, "Hey, investors, the chatbot found me a deal, but it's in this town called Cherry Hill, New Jersey. Do you know where it is?" And here the chatbot was talking to a woman that lived in Cherry Hill, had a house, but she goes away for the winter, and was interacting on Facebook, and he did an ad down in Tampa, and the chatbot did the work, and she said, "I want to sell my house in Cherry Hill." So what he was able to do is post that deal on my Facebook page, and one of my local investors took the deal, and they co-wholesaled it and sold the deal together. So as we start bringing investors in, I now have about 25 investors spread across the country that are starting to adopt it. But what I want to do is make this, I don't want to cannibalize any market. So what we've done is we've capped each city, so we only have a limited number of investors working the chatbot per region. So we don't become another "we buy houses" sign on a telephone pole and yellow letter that's in the mailbox with the chatbot. So what we've included, and then we can go in with the setup and so forth on like websites, is a comprehensive package. This chatbot has all the seller flows for motivated sellers. It has the buyer flows. For wholesalers, or for the portfolio guys, the renter flows, the investor flows. So all the communication for a wholesaler to build cash buyers lists and so forth. And then realty recruiting flows. Being able to, especially this time of year, attract realtors to come to your team. And then lastly is the sequences. The sequences here are basically referred to in other marketing avenues as what we call drip campaigns. Because what the chatbot's job is not just to interact to them the first time, but once they talk to the chatbot, if they may not be interested in selling just yet, as Gary Keller from Keller Williams said in his book, the money is in the follow-up. The chatbot handles all the follow-up. So what it'll do is reach out to that homeowner periodically throughout the year, automated, with useful information to that homeowner. So when they are ready to sell, you want to be top of mind to them coming to you when they're ready to sell. And then we provide all the training classes here on how to implement the chatbot. So the chatbot's designed to be plug and play and be stood up. Usually most investors are getting this into their investment business in about 24 to 48 hours. Unless you're Alexa, he was busy. He was doing some projects down the city. So we have one of our bot users here in the room. But in the case of most investors, it's about 24 to 48 hours to stand this thing up and get it working for you to find deals. So this is our story. So if you want to learn more, if you take your phone out, I wrote a book about chatbots for investors. It's a small 18-page, it's an ebook. An 18-page, it's called 25 Ways Chatbots Can Grow Your Real Estate Business. So you have to have Messenger. And if not, I included if you take just a picture, if you don't have Messenger, you can take a picture here. I included the URL as well. So if you go to that website, the chatbot will, you want to make sure you have Messenger when you get back on your desktop or MacBook. And you go to that website, the chatbot will deliver this ebook right to your phone or your desk. And it's in a PDF format, so we'll give that copy to you today. If you have the QR reader, if you just scan it, the chatbot will open up and deliver it right now to your phone. So with that, any questions?
Are there any questions? I'm sure there are.
Is that posted anywhere, or is it just cloud-based?
The chatbot runs on the Messenger platform, which is all cloud-based. Correct. Yeah, and the platform we use, my development platform is it's not my platform, it's a worldwide platform. It's a partner of Facebook. It's called ManyChat. And ManyChat is a platform to build bots, to build chatbots.
So is it pricing based on volume?
So no, what we did in our package is if you're like in the cabinet business, what they do is like ManyChat, there's people that will build bots for you, or you could build your own chatbot on ManyChat. Their pricing, they start with free, and then they go to what's called $10 a month, $20 a month based on how many subscribers you have. A subscriber is how many people go into your chatbot. So if you have a $10 a month plan, you could have 5,000 customers on your bot for $10 a month. So it's very, very affordable.
So John, how many chatbots will you make available per zip code or per city or per something?
Yeah, so what we've done in our program right now is we've limited it by county. So based on the size of the population. So like in Bucks County, it's like 4. There's 7 in Philadelphia. In Montgomery County, I think there's 5. So we put together a table and we did it across the entire United States. So we're trying to get it so there's a limited, we want to make it competitive for all of us and work, the folks in the county want to work together as opposed to compete.
So somewhere in Wyoming, you'll sell how many? Never. not many houses there. Any other questions for John? Yeah, did you mention the cost yet?
So the entire package is $400. Right now, we're doing a initial offering of $495, which is a one-time cost for the entire program, including the training and so forth. So it's a single purchase. We are going to change the pricing model in 2020. I'm moving to a subscription model. So talking to a lot of my advisors, we're going to build, instead of sending as a one-time charge, we're going to have a monthly subscription that you pay monthly to have the chatbot in your business. So right now, we decided we want to build an initial set of investors in the country. We're going to offer 50% off, so it's $495 for the whole package. You get there's about 60 training modules up there, so would train you. We're going to teach you all the tips and tricks. In fact, one of my trainings that I love, that my investors love, is one of my videos is how to legally, Beth, spy on your competition. So when you find an investor that's doing a lot of deals, I show you how on social media you could see the exact ad copy and who they're sending their ad to. Now, you don't copy their ad, but if their ad has a certain tonality and certain words in it and certain imagery, there's nothing wrong with creating a similar ad that's getting that same traction. So we also teach you advanced targeting techniques to show you how to do very targeted marketing on social media so you don't waste your money. Don't do an ad that shows everybody in the county the ad. Just show it to motivated sellers in the county, right? So then they're the ones that are consuming your ad.
So Smarty, does it make sense to set up a training session for those people that are interested?
Well, the training session is completely online now. So the training session, you log in, and in the first day, you'll have your chatbot working. And then the more advanced modules in the training are like how to put it on your website. If you want to implement it on your website, I train you on that. How to do bandit signs, how to do email campaigns. So some of the more advanced training, that's all online for you as well. But the chatbot, module 1 and 2, you're going to have the chatbot ready to go. And when I say ready to go, what it means is 90% of the chatbot communication is all built for you. The 10% is personalizing it to your business. So in the training, I'll say, all right, you open up this flow, and this is where you put your logo, your contact information. So when the chatbot wakes up, what email do you want it to go to? What's phone number? And then I also have what's called About Us. So I give you my About Us, but you could make it your own. So that's the personalization that you see on that other slide there. You'll see, if I just come back here, and this is actually module 2, personalizing your chatbot, the main menu, contact us, learn about us, the welcome message you want to give a homeowner, right? And these are all interactive trainings that are 3 to 5 minutes each. They're not long trainings. The integration to the website is probably the longest training, about 40 minutes of training how to put it on your website.
So since you've been using the chatbot for ProEdge, how many actual deals where money changed hands have you?
So since May, when we deployed it in ProEdge, we have 13 deals under contract or done with this chatbot. So it's been doing really well since May.
Since May. Okay.
Since May, including I have now 2 under contract as of yesterday up in Jim Thorpe from the chatbot. Yeah, about 3 a month. Yeah, it's been pretty healthy.
Here's my personal issue is that I take on too much. And I'm trying to find people to help me not take on so much and do specific things. And I don't want to be an expert on Facebook. I don't want to be an expert on Instagram and all that sort of thing. Do you have a team set up that would do this for me?
So that's actually something that my wife and I are talking about. We actually have a team of VAs or virtual assistants that are working with us, and we're training them on the chatbot itself. And we're considering offering a service into 2020 as, like I said, a subscription service that would include them managing all your social media advertising and such. You set your budget, and we show you the ads, or you can change your ads, and we run it for you. That's not here today. So we're still working through that for 2020's plan. What we've done in the system, in the ordering system, is I have a table that we set by county in the United States, and we put a count. So once we hit that area, it's going to shut off accessing it for that county.
So I could do, could we do 2 counties?
Yeah, so we haven't made any restriction of the investor that says where you do advertising. It's just the assumption is that if you're in Bucks County, more than likely you're investing here. But like I have investors down in Atlanta that invest in 6 states. So they bought it for their county, but they do marketing in 6 states to get deals. So I'm not counting those, from a standpoint of.
Okay, so here's the flaw in your system. If there's 4, let's say you want to sell 4 in Bucks County, and all 4 are used up. Deb decides she wants to be the 5th, but you don't have a 5th option. So she'll buy a chatbot in. I was going to say Jackson
Florida,
Hole,
and
Wyoming,
market in Bucks.
right?
Yeah.
Right, and there's nobody in Jackson Hole, but then do all of our advertising in Philadelphia.
Yeah, it's hard from when we looked at the mechanics of doing it. We didn't want to flood any market, but at the same time, I can't control where you do advertising because that's a Facebook thing. So we wanted to control it regionally to disperse the chatbot across North America. I have 6 up in Toronto. Right now, 3 investors in Toronto are starting to use it in Toronto. They want to actually do investing in the U.S., but I can't control where you do the investments, right?
Okay, so
I
Jackson,
don't want bucks, just to put you all
so Deb's already signing up for Jackson Hole, Wyoming.
Jackson Hole, Wyoming. That's right.
Okay.
That's right.
I'll find buyers, I will.
So, I have a question. Next year, you said that you will have a program that people can sign up, monthly payment and so forth. Is this agreement going to be for a year, or you can sign up at least 3 months, 6 months?
We're still working out the mechanics of the subscription
Repeat the
right
question,
now.
please.
So the question was, is it going to be a subscription that's an annual subscription or, per quarter, month, or what have you? We're still working out what next year's subscription plan looks like. So I don't have it ironed out yet of exactly how we'll deploy it. More than likely, it'll be more of a month to month. You'll use it. And then, like we have on the chatbot today, we give you a 30-day money back guarantee. You deploy your bot. If it doesn't work for you, you get your full refund. So we want to make sure we protect you. We want to make sure it works for you, as we roll this out.
And if you go to those lessons on the computer, let's say you went through all of them, can you go back and listen to them again and again, or are they going to be there for
Oh, they're there forever. So the training's perpetual. Yeah, you get access to the training center and they're yours to go through.
You said like 3 or 5 minutes. So
Yeah, they're short little, yeah.
even if I'm technology challenged, I can do it.
Yeah, I actually, as my test cases, I use my mother,
I
who
think
who is the least technical I know. So she was my test case, and my mom can set up the chatbot. And she thought it was cool, and she set it up to she's actually marketing it to her community. She sent out an email to her community, and the chatbot's starting to get her homeowners.
So Bonnie is very technology savvy. Bonnie, what do you think of this? And repeat what she says because she doesn't have a microphone.
It definitely is interesting. There's still a couple questions I have. The one question I have is about the 495
Mm-hmm.
and is that how limit? Is that per county?
No. So
Repeat the question.
The question is the 495 have a limit and so forth? My chatbot package, as it is in 2019, we're doing an incentive to get it out in the market with a one-time 495 one-time purchase, and it's yours. It's also including all your upgrades. So my customers that already bought 5 weeks ago already got an upgrade from me, and they're all in the Facebook group giving me new ideas. I have like 6 landlords that are already bought. And they're saying, Smarty, can you give me a tenant so I don't have to talk to my tenants anymore? Can you build a chatbot experience so it does the tenant problems and stuff? And I want to keep making this. I want to make this a world-class. That's what I do in software for 35 years. I want to make this the world-class chatbot in the market for investors and realtors. So $495 one-time purchase includes all your upgrades, 30-day money-back guarantee, and all your training. And then you have access to the private Facebook group where everybody's in there. That's where you get answers to your questions and so forth.
So I know Deb, I don't know if you still do it, Deb, but do you still sell your notes? You still doing that?
No, I don't do that.
Okay, well, if she were still doing notes, could this be adapted to sell notes?
Absolutely.
Okay, so there's
Yeah, let's talk. I had two money guys just contact me about what we could, we're going to have lunch next week. We should sit down, you and Rich and I, talk about the lending side as well. Because the chatbot can be used for anything.
If you review the chatbot for this, can you use it in other industries?
Well, I'm going to teach you not only the chatbot that I made, but you're also going to be learning ManyChat at the same time. So I also teach you how to create your own flows, how to extend the chatbot. So once you learn that, you can build it for anything.
well, so then that causes another problem. If you're limiting it to 4 in Bucks County, I don't know if it's 4 or 5, but then Beth wants to use it for legal services, not for finding.
I wouldn't be on his thing because his thing is limited to.
Investors.
Well, that's what I'm
yeah.
getting at. So let's say Beth wants to use it for her law practice, which has nothing, well, it's not related to finding a distressed seller. So that wouldn't conflict with somebody else that's
Correct,
using it.
correct.
So
Yeah,
then-
because
so now-
it doesn't stop any of you to build your own bots. So ManyChat is a publicly traded, it's a platform to build chatbots, right? What I'm saving you for $495 is I have over 2,000 development hours on my bot that you get as a package starting point to get started. So
Right, but if Beth
So
wanted to use it for her
that,
law
she could
practice,
sign up tomorrow and build it.
but would that be
No,
counted
it's
as
not,
with the
that's
4?
not mine. No. Because ManyChat's not my offering. ManyChat's the platform
No, I
I'm
understand
on.
that, but if she used your chatbot offering and all she did was change the words, if you will.
Oh, no, it would be a little more than changing words. She would have to build a whole other system for legal services.
Okay. All
Yeah.
right. So Tom,
Yeah.
you got homework. You got to figure out how to build a
Yeah.
chatbot.
So, I mean, I'm an investor and an agent, so I could be two prongs hitting it at the same time.
Yeah, so it's interesting,
Repeat the
Deborah,
question.
myself being an investor and an agent as well, my ProEdge chatbot,
It doesn't make sense to buy it, I want to list it.
yeah. So my ProEdge investor chatbot, it's not in this current package, but like a bunch of I only have 20 some investors that are using it right now, but more than half of them also have a realtor license. They saw what I do in ProEdge, and I'm looking to, in my next upgrade, to merge the two together because I don't want to support two systems. You know the headache, Bonnie, right? So my ProEdge chatbot, when it says I'm looking to buy a property, I'm looking to sell a property, I'm looking for a property or I'm looking to sell a property, that's the first menu. In the current version for the investors, it says, are you looking for this? If you're buying a property, is this for an investment? Or are you looking to rent something? If you're looking for a property, if you're selling it, it has the angle of an investor. Don't work with a realtor, save those realty costs. We'll take it as is. But in the ProEdge version, when they say, I want to sell a property, I ask them a few more questions to say, what's the condition of your property? Do you want to list it? Here's the advantage of working with a realtor. If you don't want to list it, we can also give you a cash offer, and here's the advantage of working with an investor. So we start to splinter off because we want to be able to support both sets of buyers and sellers.
Right, so we're getting that version.
Yeah,
That
correct.
version.
Yeah, that's being merged in for the next round. It's not in
Bonnie.
this round today. It's only investors.
Bonnie had her hand up before.
Yeah.
Bonnie, go ahead.
Yeah, correct.
Repeat the question, please.
Oh, so Bonnie's talking about the estimating side of the bot. So the estimating side of the bot, from a confidence perspective, nobody's confident in his estimate, right? His estimates are getting better, but as realtors, we all know that it's not rock solid at all by any means. Now that Zillow's buying houses, they're making their algorithm stronger and stronger, so their estimates are pretty good. Where it helps us now as investors is it puts that watermark. So when the homeowner says, I want 140, because the bot asks them, what are you asking for your house? I want 140. If Zestimate's down here, I want to talk to them. If Zestimate's way up here, or if Zestimate's way up here, I want to talk to them. If Zestimate's below that number, I want the chatbot to nudge them, and if they still don't want to move, it just takes it off my list. I don't want to talk to you.
Yeah, but homeowners are usually way out of tune with what.
Yeah, but at least gives me that litmus test.
So, homeowners know Zillow, and every agent knows how much you have to fight with the seller to explain, well, Zillow doesn't know the condition of your property.
Correct.
Blah, blah, blah. This house isn't really for sale on Zillow. This one, I mean, all I do is explain Zillow to people because it's a
That's right.
Right. So,
Yeah, so
but if somebody
today,
asks for 110 and that's their bottom line price and it's worth, 80 or something, then what do you do?
so what my bot's designed to do is let you know that happened, but not show it to you as a deal you need to be focusing on.
So then if you want to, you can follow
You can
up.
still follow up. Yeah, you absolutely could follow up. Anybody that comes in the bot, you could follow up. But what it's done for me is if I get, like you saw me, I have 96 homeowners. I'm now ranked by what the bot's finding about those 96 to prioritize where I spend my hours, right? Before I used to run around trying to reach all 96 and this was not a deal. I'm fighting with his estimate and they want too much. It's weeding out some of that activity as an investor to really focus on the real deals, right? As much as I can. Now, I don't know if you've been trained. I'm assuming the realtors, you're all on Bright. So have you seen Remime yet?
I was just going to say they did a little
A webinar.
training on that.
Yeah, last week I was on there. So I was on. Very interesting. I'm on Remime now as a realtor, and very impressed with that AR system. Yeah, in the last month. I'm working right now with the CIO and the CEO of Remime. I'm going to go see them in person in about a week or two, because I asked them on the webinar. I said, "Do you have a Zap? Do you know what a Zap is?" So Zap is it's a application called Zapier, and Zapier allows you to move data between systems. So my chatbot, I teach you that. So if you have another system like a CRM system or even a Google spreadsheet, when the chatbot finds the homeowner's name, address, phone number, email, a Zap will put it in a Google sheet, right? Or if you have a CRM system, like I use my own CRM system or customer relations system that does email marketing and stuff, a Zap is used to take my chatbot when it talks to a homeowner, all that data is in my lead system, sending them emails and other campaigns.
So tell us what Remind does.
So Remime is another company that partnered with Bright. I don't know if they bought them, Rich. Do you know if they bought them?
REMINE.
It's part of it, right?
Yeah.
But it gives you the same kind of information.
Exactly. That's where my eyes lit up because I'm still paying for,
But explain what that means.
yeah. And I get it for free with my brokerage. I was excited. Yeah.
I'm not able to record that. Can you repeat it?
Oh, so Rich was saying that they charge Remime. There's a fee for most realtors, but now it's free. So they used to charge to the world, but now it's free. And it's also getting me the same data. One of the other comments Rich made was about RealFlow. Us investors that use RealFlow, I know Bonnie does, and Rich has been on it and such. RealFlow has lead pipes where I can go in and say, get me all vacant properties and pre-foreclosures, and then I skip trace them.
But what does
Remime now has it.
What does it do? Tell us.
So what it does is it gets me distressed property lists. It searches properties. So I could say, let me see just all the vacancies here in Doylestown, or let me see all the homeowners that are in pre-foreclosure here in Doylestown, and then, or all the people that have tax delinquencies. And then what it does is it grabs all those addresses, and what Remime does is it gets me the homeowner's name and details about their contact information,
Then you
now
can-
for free, only for realtors.
Like they have it with, I'm not sure what company, but you can just forward it right to the mail house and they'll even mail it.
And can that then be used as part of your Facebook promotion or your
So
text-
what I'm
texting
talking to
promotion?
Remime about right now is
You see where I'm
I've
going.
talked to them a couple times. They do not have an integration layer for me to get their data from my chatbot. They're a closed system. So they send data out. You could export data from Remime, but you can't go up and get data and pull it out of Remime. So they need a Zap. So they're committed. An email I got from them is their developers are looking at it. They're committed to look at it with us to say, they realize as a systems company, they have to provide a Zap because
And then
every
you'll-
company in the world has a Zap pretty much to their systems
And
today.
then you'll integrate that into this.
And then we'll be able to integrate it to our chatbot.
That's what I was getting at.
Because it has a much more accurate ARV comps calculator than Zestimate. So as soon as that's available, I'll repoint the chatbot to it so that we can get the better estimates. The other thing that ManyChat's recently announced, we're really excited. ManyChat up until September only sent things through Messenger. ManyChat now also supports SMS and email. So once the homeowner gives me their email and phone number, they're subscribed into the bot. Now I can do a drip campaign where next Tuesday they get a text message from Smarty with some useful information about selling their house. And 2 weeks later, they get an email from Smarty, all from the bot. So now I can retire my email marketer and my text message. I used to have a text blasting service. I'm now having the bot do the texting, right? So one day it may be a text, next day it's in Facebook, next day it's an email. But the bottom line is we want to be able to communicate that homeowner in their journey of selling their house. They may not be ready to sell today, but that be top of mind for follow-up when they are ready to sell.
Any other questions? Yes. Oh, Eileen. Yes, go ahead.
Can we customize the point at which a deal is sent to us to look at right away versus it not being prioritized? And can we do that by neighborhood? So if a customer is way off in certain parts of Philadelphia, I may not want to see that, but I may want to see anything in rural town.
Repeat the question.
So I'll repeat the question. Elaine has a great question about customization. Can we customize the rules and stuff? 100% of what I give you is customizable, all through ManyChat. So most investors are taking all my flows as is, and I have some conditional logic on 70%. But then in my training class online, I teach you how to make wholesale changes. So if you don't like the communication between the bot on motivation, you could add your own questions, your own buttons, their own rules to say, throw this one out. Now, they do have conditional. The other part of Elaine's question is about geographic rules. So ManyChat does have conditional logic. So you could have a flow that says, that would have to be customized because that's not in the bot today, but you could build a flow that says, if the address is located in Fishtown, here's the rule. If the address is located in West Philly, here's the rule, right? So you could build conditional logic to say, how do you flow? And that's all supported by ManyChat, not Smarty, right? So my chatbot, I give you the package ready to go, and I teach you how to use it, but I also teach you how to change it.
So Elaine, are zip codes granular enough for you? I mean, is Fishtown a zip code?
It is, and it also, it would help me to know if somebody is a little bit higher than what the estimated value of the house is in an area that's hot versus an area that I'm not even interested in. But if it's a good deal, I might.
Right, but when you say area, I'm just asking, is
Yes,
the zip code granular enough for your area question? It is, okay. Any other questions? Yes, John?
No, it handles all the above. So as we go into the type of property.
Repeat the question.
Oh, the question is whether it's just geared to single-family homeowners. So we do have a whole set of renter flows for apartment situations. But when we're also doing the deal, one of the qualifications as we splinter down through the deal, the chatbot's going to ask me the type of property it is. So is it an apartment? Is it multifamily? Is it single family? So we're getting that information in the questioning for the homeowner. So if they are a property owner wants to sell a quad or a duplex, that's part of the questioning. So when we look it up, we want to know both addresses. We
Repeat
get
the
the
question.
information about 20 and 50 unit buildings. So today the chatbot's going to ask the questions, what kind of property is it? So if they say it's a 20 unit system, the estimates aren't going to be they're going to tell me how much they want for it. But my going up to Zillow and comparing it to we're not going to be able to comp it, but you'll at least get the lead come in to do a campaign advertisement to find those big apartment units that want to sell. Yeah. Correct.
Any other questions? Yes, Elaine, go ahead.
Does any part of it make the analysis part easier? Or is it more so the marketing phase?
This is more marketing phase. So this is getting, deal or no deal based on some online, what we know about the property, what they're telling us about the condition, and right now comparing what they're asking for versus his estimate, right? That's the only analysis it's doing today.
Any other questions?
Thank you, everyone.
Okay, do you have
Hopefully found this,
do you have an
useful.
order form or something, or how do people
So if you pull up,
get in touch with you?
I'm leaving the room. Why is that not going backwards? Did we lose? I broke it. Yeah, that very first your slide, the second slide in it has my web address.
For some reason,
That's where you get it.
it's locked up. All right. Oh, there we go. Where do you want to go?
Yeah, it's ProEdge Investor, not investors. My other website, I have investors, so I'm sorry about the confusion. But it's ProEdgeInvestorBot.com.
You mean this one right here?
Basically just go there and buy it.
And then, yeah, the order form's there. And what will happen is you'll get an email that you have it. It'll give you access to the training center, the Facebook group, and you get going.
Or
It's all on the site.
yeah.
And I'm there for you guys. I'm on Facebook daily. I'm answering questions to investors, and investors are giving me ideas and questions and so forth. The system will send you an email if you're locked out.
Repeat the question.
Oh, so how do you know if you're locked out? The system's going to send you an email if we reach the limit in that area. So it's designed to send you an automated message.
But based on what we learned, just
go to Wyoming.
go somewhere else.
Yeah.
Anybody else? Yes, Elaine.
You have a succession plan.
A what? What was the question? You mean if he dies? Wait, Beth is going to write the will. Don't worry.
Yeah, I'm teaching you how to do it, and it's yours. I'm teaching you everything, all the secret sauce. And ManyChat would have to go away for it not to work, or Facebook would have to go away for it not to work.
Only you could ask that question.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah. That's right. Facebook's here to stay.
Right. Your wife is around, right?
My wife's around.
Okay. There you go.
Yeah, and I'm teaching my son. My son's starting to build bots. He's got some interesting ideas about other industries. He's going to build these bots. He's working with a car dealership on test drives of Mercedes-Benz at a Mercedes dealer. So you can think of bots for anything. It's pretty cool.
Well,
Right now, all just 100% real estate. Well, let me preface that. I also support my wife. She has a clothing business, so there's a bot for clothing for her business, very specific to her business.
okay.
That's right. I'm all about IPO.
Only if you're in Jackson Hole,
if you're in
Wyoming.
Jackson Hole, Wyoming.
Okay,
That's right.
let's give Smarty a great round of applause.
Thank you, everyone.
Thanks, everybody.